Welcome to Sociology Vibes, where we simplify challenging ideas into easy to understand insights. Today, our focus is on the sociological explanation of the Thomas Theorem. In 1928, American sociologists William Isaac Thomas and Dorothy Swain Thomas coined the phrase, "If men define situations as real, they are real in their consequences." This quote and its implications came to be known as the Thomas Theorem. The Thomas Theorem explains that it's not what's real that matters, but what people actually think is real. And this interpretation leads to action. Let's look at a few examples. A rumor is going around a company that layoffs are coming. The rumor is not true. Yet people panic and some people begin to look for new employment and even quit. Among others, productivity decreases and stress increases. Even though the layoffs aren't real, the belief in them creates real consequences. If someone sees a group of teenagers hanging out at a bus stop and assumes they're dangerous, they might cross the street or call the police. The teens might get harassed, even if they were just joking around and waiting for the bus. In this case, the negative bias becomes real in its consequences. Stereotypes influence what people think and how they act on them or discriminate, and this also occurs with race, class, gender, among other classifications of people. Mass and social media can influence people to believe that certain groups are dangerous, lazy, or corrupt, and people may act on those ideas by supporting laws or avoiding or discriminating against certain groups. If people come to an agreement that college debt has become a social problem in the American society, the consequences might be a debt relief for a forgiveness federal program. On an individual level, a young person might forego attending college because they believe that taking on college debt will bankrupt them. Imagine two people in a relationship and each one thinks the other is lying. They both might start acting defensive. They might accuse, withdraw, or spy. Even if no one is lying to begin with, the situation becomes unhealthy. Belief shapes the behavior. The Thomas Theorem can explain why misunderstandings can grow into full-blown arguments, not because of what happened, but because of what people believed happened. The Thomas Theorem helps us understand that our behavior is based on what we believe, not just what is actually happening. The Thomas Theorem helps us slow down and ask ourselves, why am I reacting this way? What do I believe about this situation? And where did that belief come from? Are my actions based on facts, fear, rumor, or assumption? This Thomas Theorem is about understanding the power of perception and how it can either bring people together or push them apart. Understanding the Thomas Theorem helps us pause and check our assumptions and understand why people may act out of fear or misunderstanding. The Thomas Theorem teaches us that changing how we define a situation can change the outcome in our relationships, at work, and even in society. If people define a situation as hopeless, they may give up. If they defined it as fixable, they might take action. And that's powerful. And that makes sociology worth exploring further, don't you think? Thank you for watching. Be sure to comment below with your thoughts, questions, or any topics you'd like us to explore next. Let's keep the conversation going and our community growing. See you in the next Sociology Vibes video.